Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Boulder Canyon. We are heading off towards the shop, is where we're going. But before we go very much further, we need to put time up to 30 times speed, because I forgot to do it at the end of last week in one of the loads that I did. So I said that I would do this until we get to the shop and we've made our purchase, and that should be an equivalent amount of time, I would think. We'll see when we get there. So anyway, I asked you all last week, because I had so many comments asking me to have more than just one large pen each for the sheep and the chickens as a completion requirement for the map. I thought I'd put that to the vote, find out if everybody felt along those lines. It was pretty close, with 465 votes on it, so not everybody felt very strongly about it. I do find that some of the votes hardly get any response because people don't really care either way. And then others, I get a lot of response where people, you know, it does make more of a difference. So this one, a lot of people didn't really feel very strongly about it either way, but we did get 465 votes. We had 215 votes for an extra of 2 chickens and 2 sheep, plus the 1 each of the cows and the pigs. And 250 people said stick with the original idea of just 1 large pen of each minimum, but obviously we can get more if we want to. So it's sticking as it is. We're not going to change that at all. My question this week, though, this one is a bit different. This one, well, it's not that different, but I feel it's a very important question to be asked, and it's something that we need to look at. Right, we've gone... you know what, just so that I don't forget that I've got 30 times speed ticking along, I'm going to go 120 until 6 PM, and then I'm going to go back to our normal 5 times speed. What do we go to buy next is the question, but it's not just randomly anything. I've had a lot of people saying that you think I should get a tree harvester. Now, a tree harvester is a very expensive piece of equipment. It's like $350,000 to get a tree harvester. So let's just put that. Great demand at sawmill. Let's have a look at that a minute. What are we great demanding? Well, we're not getting a great deal. It's for wood chips. Okay, so there's not a great deal there. No, it's not just for anything. If you have a look in here, we've currently got some sheep, right? Now, sheep require hay, but if we want to get cows, we need to be able to provide them with straw. And we have said that we're not going to be buying in bedding and feed and stuff like that. So we need to be able to have some arable land to be able to have cows. If we want pigs, we need a lot of arable land for their feed and for their bedding. And if we want chickens, we need arable land for their feed. So all of that is going to require us having a combine. And the cheapest combine that we can get is 84,000. With the header, it's like 100,000. There isn't any cheaper options that we've got. We can, you know, we can go up here, but that's a very, very small combine. Possibly we want something a little bit bigger than that. I mean, you look at this one here, there's 84,000 right there for that one, and then you've got the header that needs to go with it as well, which is 27,000. That's pushing the price all the way up to, well, it's about 110,000, isn't it? It's maybe a little bit less than that. Roughly 110,000. Right, we're going to be getting a cultivator in order to do the ploughing, but I've been told that in order to do proper ploughing, we need a plough anyway. We've got a fertilizer spreader. I think we do. Did we get a fertilizer spreader? No, the fertilizer spreader is on our to-buy list, isn't it? If we have a look in our garage, we've got, at the moment, we don't have the fertilizer spreader, but that is something that we're going to want. We also want the placeables to be able to buy fertilizer rather than having to go and buy pallets from back here all the time, because it's going to be considerably faster and more convenient for us, and it is, you know, something that we could do. So we're going to want a fertilizer spinner, but if we go for arable, we're going to want a sprayer, which is going to cost money. We're going to want to be able to get one of these so that we can put lime on the field. Lime itself costs a load of money. The sprayer is not cheap. We want the combine. We want... well, we've got a small trailer that we could use for storing, but we're going to need to be able to store grain. So we're going to need a storage facility for that. And all of this is going to... What my point is... I do have a point here. My point is that all of this is going to accumulate... and it's going to cost a load of money. I mean, if we go and we have a look at the silos, the cheapest silo is 110,000. So you add all of this together, and we're not very far off of one of these. Okay, this is the whole point. Oh, wow, that's 440,000. This one here cannot take very large trees. It can only take smaller trees, which does make it a lot less useful than one of these. 440,000... to get that 10435. I want to get that one. I want the Ponzi Scorpion. So that one there is 440. If we're to go for arable land, then we're going to need this as a bare minimum, which will take 100,000 litres. That's 110,000 there, plus another 115,000 for the very smallest combine that we can get, which is that one right there, and that's going to take us a long time to do anything with. If we're venturing into animals and stock and stuff, we probably want a bigger combine than that to be able to cope with it. But let's just say we go for the bare minimum to start with. We're looking at that one as 110, so that's 220,000. And then we've got to go into crop protection. The cheapest there is that tank right there, which is 1,300 litres. And you could go for another 5 to make 2,200 litres if you wanted to. That would be more sensible, but we go with that. So there's 220, there's 250,000. And then we could go without lime. We could take a yield hit and go without lime. We don't want to go without crop protection and lime because that would start to get too expensive. So we've got, well, we've already got a seed drill, which we'll be getting for the grass. So there's 250,000 for that lot. We would want I said we go without lime, but we do want something to get the herbicide down. We could always come back here for herbicide, so we don't have to have those other bits, which puts us really at just having to have those and the combine. And we've got most of the rest of it covered. So it's 250,000 to be able to get that, or we save up 450,000 to get the Ponzi Scorpion. It's kind of one or the other. We got to do one or the other first, and then once we've got that arable, we've still then you'd want to be making it pay. Whereas the Ponzi Scorpion, being able to cut the trees faster and get those logs faster, obviously the money coming in from that, I think personally, is more of a worthy investment, because even if we do just get that, we've still got to fork out a big chunk of money on getting animals plus the the coops and the animals, or the pigs and the animals and so on, right? This is all very expensive stuff. The Ponzi Scorpion is kind of on its own, so arable is something that we need to do and we need to open up, but do we want to do that next? So my question is, do we go for arable next, or do we go for the Ponzi Scorpion? I know the Ponzi Scorpion is more expensive at 440,000, but in the long run, it could definitely be worth grabbing that one first rather than waiting longer before we go for it. But it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. Do you want us to go for the, I'm just going to go for that right there, standard brown chassis. Alright, so we can change the colour of it all without any extra, I'm going to go for the blue. I want to buy that one, yes, okay. Yeah, do you want us to get the Ponzi Scorpion next? Do we save up and buy the Ponzi Scorpion next? Or do we go for the arable crops? Do we go for arable crops? We buy a combine, we buy a sprayer, and we buy storage facilities for the grain that we pull off of it and all of that sort of stuff. Do we go for all of that, or do we go for the... I'm just looking over here because... No, I don't. That was the other thing that I wanted to buy right now before we go overnight. Do we go for the Ponzi Scorpion, or do we go for Arable next? I got interrupted there. Real life stepped in and interrupted things. Right, so... Where was I? Well, so you guys need to decide whether you want me to do the Ponzi Scorpion thing or the arable approach next. But what we want to do right now is we want to go into there. We want to go to miscellaneous over here. And I've also got these greenhouses and the bee houses now. Those are all available for us to use. But right now we want a seed tank and we want a solid fertilizer tank. I'm going to get both of those. And I want to get them back over here. Oh, I know the other thing that I wanted to get. See, I can put these down up here. Right, now come back down over here. And I was thinking to put one of them up there. And maybe put them both over there. But before we do that, no, the other thing that I wanted to get, and this was the important thing that I wanted to get, I'll just make sure that we definitely don't have it yet. We wanted... I need the tank. I need... Oh, it was a pallet fork. So I brought the loader so that we could get pallet forks. So we need to get the pallet forks for the front loader. So if I go into there and we want that one. Go to you and buy, just as you are. We're not going to be paying for colours. And then I want to go into the pallets right there. And we want a couple of pallets for the sheep, for the wool. That one right there. We want... Excuse me, with the signs, we want the extra large, the 10,000 litre ones, and we're going to get 2 of these. These reusable ones right here. So when one is full, we can take it and we can sell it, and that works on an exchange system. So we'll get those 2 there. And then we wanted to get a cultivator. And we were looking through them, and honestly, these here... They're only 3 meters wide, but they're wider than the standard plows. Because if you have a look at the standard plow in here, you've got like that one. That one's 13,000. That one there is 14,000. That's 2.5 meters. But the thing is, I was told that actually if we go to the cultivator here, I mean, that's only 7,000, which is considerably cheaper. It's wider, and we now have the option to allow create fields with the cultivator, but it still doesn't actually make it as plowed land. And this is something I'm a bit concerned about. I am a little bit worried about this. I don't know why that one's so much more expensive. It's like more than double the price. It's no wider. It doesn't look any different at all. But that one there, I'm going to go with that one there. This Raoul there. It's chisel plow style. So that's the kind of style that I thought that we would go for. And we will try it. So we're going to buy that one right there. And we will hope for the best with this. So there, that leaves us with $13,000 remaining. If I go back from there, back again, that's not enough left to be able to buy the 2 placeables, right? But we do have enough to be able to buy the seed tank. We can't get the fertilizer tank yet, but we do have enough at the moment to be able to buy this one, which we could place down. The seed tank, so that we can then get a seed drill and we can plant over there. That's got to be the other thing that we want to get, is an actual seed drill. So I'm thinking that we put this one down here, and I'm just going to put that one kind of there in the middle, like that. And then when we eventually get the other one, we'll put that one probably up this side, so that it's easy for us to load the 2. The solid fertilizer tank right there, but we don't want that one right now. So now we want to go back to here. We want to go to fertilizer technology. We got 20,000 on that one, but we've now got the Kavernland available. It's only 700 liters per load, but at 4,000, it's just enough, right? We can just go for it. So we want to grab that one as well. Buy. Yes. Okay, so we've now got a fertilizer spinner as well. We've got everything we need. Oh, wait. We don't have a seed drill. Oh, dear. I got everything else, but I didn't get the seed drill. I was meant to get the seed drill. That was the bit that I was meant to get. Seeders, right there. You got seeders and you got planters. It's a seeder that we want. The Amazon is 13,000. We wouldn't have been able to afford that anyway. There was... I didn't go and get it. I did see a small seed drill as a mod that I thought would be really good for this series. And then I thought, no, we've already got a small one. But there, I mean, I think it's like a reskin of the Amazon there. 13,000, we're shy 10 grand on that. We can't quite afford it. But there's all of our stuff. I can't pick everything up today and take it back with us. It's just not going to happen because I'm having to take those. So we're going to have to do like a bit of careful balancing. But we will be able to get some of this back. So if we go this way. And the first... Actually, I need to go around the back of it. So the first thing we'll do is we get that pallet forks on. And then once we've got the pallet forks on, we'll get those 2 wool pallets on. And then we can get the cultivator. That's got to be the one that we want to carry back. We're not worried so much about the fertilizer spreader. We'll get that one when we come back. We're going to have to come back later on to be able to get a seed drill anyway. So we will do both of those together. We'll bring the seed drill and the fertilizer spinner together. Right, now if I turn the wheels that way, go like that, and then I turn the wheels that way, just back off of there, like that. And now we go back in here. I wonder if I should change the keyboard steering so that the wheels straighten up a little bit faster. No, I don't think I will. I don't think we need to. So we'll lower that down there. And hopefully that's about right. Yep. Spot on perfect. So we've got those 2 there, and I'm going to pick those 2 and I'm going to hold them back like that. I'm really hoping that they will stay on there. They're quite heavy. If you notice, even though they're empty, they are rather heavy. And I've noticed this before on other things, but if we put that one on the back, I'm hoping that's going to make a bit of a difference. Doesn't seem to actually make that much of a difference. The water tanker, despite being there, is not as... Actually, I'm wondering if the water tanker is actually lifting us up a little bit. It could very well be. Right, and then I'll pick that one up as well. Oh, that's brilliant. Right. If I try picking that one right up. This is not part of the master plan. It's sort of holding. No. How on earth are we going to do this? I think I'm going to have to leave one of these pallets behind. Right, well, first up we can unhitch that one. And I can back out here. We'll leave 1 pallet behind, I think, because taking the 2, it doesn't seem to like it. It's 7:30 now. We've still got to get back home yet. Let's lower that down. Now we've got this whole ridiculous malarkey where it doesn't like us picking stuff up. No, that's alright. Right, that's a lot better. And I grab you as well. Right. That's how these pallets are like really they are too heavy. They're too heavy for the actual game, I think. It doesn't help that I've got this cultivator on the front at all. This is brilliant. We've still got to get all the way back yet, but at least we now have a water tanker. This is going to be the next big thing, is finding out if we've got to pay for the water tanker or not. We can work whilst in a little bit of debt, but we're going to have to make sure that we don't get too much debt accumulated, because one of the things we've still got to do is, after we've ploughed up this new field and created it, easy does it, once we've created this new field that we're after, we're going to need to be able to plant it. To be able to plant it, we've got to come and buy a seed drill. We've got to be able to buy seed. And ideally, we'd like to be able to buy some fertilizer as well and put a couple coats of fertilizer onto the field. Once we've done the first cut, then it automatically gives us one free coat of fertilizer on a grass field, which is good. It does still do that in this version of the game. Last time you had to have 3 coats of fertilizer, and it gave you a free one with... Well, actually, it did it even on easy. So if you were on easy mode, you only needed 1 fertilizer coat. It did it on there as well, which was really good. But yeah, we've taken longer today than I actually anticipated. We're not going to get a huge amount of work done, but we will be able to get back, and we will be able to make a start on carving up our new land. Yeah, we should do. Yeah. And then we've also we'll be able to see if the whole ploughing thing is going to be an issue for us or not. As allowing to create new fields, I don't know if it's going to mean that we have to have it ploughed as well. I'm hoping not. If we can get away with not having to do that, that will make a difference to us. That will make an overall difference to our funding as well. Because we're not going to have to fork out, what's it, £17,000 for a plough? Because I didn't want the really, really small plough. I wanted a slightly bigger one. If we can just get up here, just this steep little bit right here. I still stand by coming this way. If we'd gone the other way, we'd have... There's a very real chance that we could drive off the edge of that other bridge. I don't want to be driving off the edge of any bridges. I'd like to stay on the bridges, because we cannot afford to have to replace our tractor now, right? We do not have the money to replace our tractor at the moment. Much as, you know, much as I despise this tractor, I would like to actually keep it. Now, this could be interesting. Let's bring that down. Right. It's definitely going to... Anybody who's ever driven a tractor and a loader, and almost anybody who's ever driven a tractor and loader has at some point had to drive their vehicle whilst taking something that is technically too heavy to be safe for the vehicle. And so it's sort of been dancing around like this. Right, we've all done it. Manufacturer states quite explicitly that you should not do it, and it is dangerous, and it will probably void your insurance and everything else. But we all still do it, because sometimes you've got to do it. You've got to do what you've got to do. So you work with what you got and you make it work. It says don't use this as a crane, and so the first thing you do is you go and use it as a crane. Driving too fast, definitely a no-no. We definitely don't want to be doing that. Right, if you're going to be dancing around foolishly like this, you do at least need to be a little bit careful with it. Act sensibly and not do silly things like drive too fast. But we're getting there. 1951, we're supposed to get, well, we'll get back. If we work a few minutes late tonight, I think that will be okay. I'm sure you'll forgive me for just working late one evening. I know, we're not supposed to. But technically, we're just late driving back. And that does sometimes happen. We're not going to work in the fields or anything like that. We're literally going to take this one and park it up. Up through there. Down the other... Now, this bit here, this could get interesting. Bringing it down here. Right, I would rather get home late and safe than not get home at all. And I'm sure you'd all agree with me on that is, you know, quite an acceptable view on life. Late and safe is considerably better than not getting home at all. We all know this, so nobody's going to begrudge me a few extra minutes of time as we come back through here. Alright, bring that one on round. And in the morning, the first thing that we will do is we will start work on the ploughing. Easy does it. Easy. Easy. Right, now we're down on the bottom now. You know what? We're going to shortcut across here. We're just going to go a straight line across here. because we're gonna need all of this stuff over here anyway. So I can take a quick shortcut up through here. And I'll bring that one to there. Right, so first job is lower that one down there and unhitch it. And then I can bring this one over this way, and the water tanker... Well, actually, I think our first job in the morning will be to fill the water tanker. That'll be our first job. Before I do that, though, I'm going to unhitch that water tanker. Go to there, like that. And I'm just going to go and put this by the sheep. Right over here. I know that we don't actually need it yet, because we don't have any sheep here yet, but I want it here ready. Let's pick that one up. Put that one down. Right, we're done. We have brought everything back, so let's just go and park up. Only a couple minutes. We're only a couple minutes past 8 o'clock. I think that's fine. I think that we can be allowed just, you know, one few minutes late. We'll even sleep in for a few minutes, just so everybody's pleased. And we'll come over to here, and we will sleep for our customary 11 hours. There we go. That's going to mean that we're going to sleep in, because we're supposed to start at 7 a.m. And it's now 7:06. Great demand at Universal Selling 150. So what is the great demand at Universal Selling? What have we got? What are they demanding at the moment? They are... No, there's wood chips there. It says wood chips. It says great demand, but it doesn't actually have any product at the great demand. It's not telling me what the great demand is. So I don't know what... I don't really know what to sort of think on that, because it's not telling me, it's not giving me any clues to what the great demand might be. Let's go and bring this one round. We're going to want the front weight on. We're going to be dealing with quite a bit of heavy weight on here, so let's pop you down there and unhitch like that. I'll get that front weight there, and then I'll get the water trailer back on, just so I know we haven't got any sheep yet. Those, what are the sheep, like 1,000 each? I think the sheep are about 1,000 apiece-ish, something like that. And then we will back up here. We've got more timber to cut at some point as well, but we're not going to do that just yet. So we'll go over through this way. I'm going to jump out, and I want to have a look, and I want to see how much the sheep cost. 1,500 for sheep. Right, so each sheep is going to cost us $1,500. That's alright, $1,500 is fine. So now, of course, we need to find out if we can actually fill the water tanker with the little pond that we've got here, or if... Oh, it says start filling, and we're right beside the pond. Of course, no, we're over the actual pond. It's just that we dug it out a bit, didn't we? So if I bring that back there, like that, and we're on minus. We're on negative money. And because we're now on negative money, I cannot fill the tanker. And I won't be able to do that until we're back on positive money, which means that we could really do with cutting down some trees later today in order to be able to generate a bit more income. And, I mean, we're going to have to do that anyway, because, yeah, I got to load more trees over there. Yeah, we're going to have to do it anyway because of getting all of the stuff ready for the planting. All right, we've still got stuff that we've got to plant. So now if I go to here, allow create fields. It is a thing. We are allowed to create fields. And it's something that I love. I love the fact that we're allowed to do this. So I'm going to bring that one there, and now we want to have a look, and we want to make sure that we get this right. So I'm thinking that I go over here, look, and I'll bring that back to that corner there. And I'm kind of thinking that's our straight line up through there. Right, that's looking pretty good as a straight line. It's just going to miss the rock. I don't want to go too close to that rock. And it's going to give us that whole area down there. It's actually a slightly bigger area than we did initially use. So let's press Y to allow create fields. Lower that one down. and start going. I'm just going to do it in a dead straight line up through here. So I'm not doing anything fancy. And I don't think we need to go closer to the rock than that. I think that is actually close enough to the rock to be just fine. I don't think we need more than that. Now, the next decision I've got to make is how close up here. I don't think I want to go much closer than that. So I kind of want to bring it to here. I'm going to lift that out. Now, this is kind of the more difficult part. Right? If I lower that down there, is how do I do the edge of this field? Right, I can bring that round, like that. And then I can bring it along here, and I can go right along this edge here. And I did intend to do this, right? I'm fully intending to go right up to the edge of the road here, like this. And so I am going to do this. I'm going to go right round this bit, and we'll come back over to that corner in a little while, and then we'll decide what to do up there. So I don't want to encroach too much onto the road. So I don't want to I don't want to push right out onto that road. But at the same time, I want to make sure I do run a fairly tight line to it. And then eventually we'll probably end up getting rid of this, because we'll be using a lot of this flat area for animals. Although I'm starting to think that animals going out the other side of the barn would be a better idea, because it's still flat over that side. Well, mostly flat. But you've also got the fact that it's a lot narrower over there. And so it seems like it might be better suited for anything to do with the stock. Now, I've put that bit out there. I'm wondering now if maybe I should widen this road a little bit. We can always do that. We can do that with the landscaping bit. When we put the roads in, right, we're going to be putting the road into our piece over there. We've got to put a road into there, and we may widen this road ever so slightly when we do that. So to start this one moving up through here. Yeah, that's good. Now bring that round. Pull that in, like that. There. Excellent. Okay, I'm liking the look of this so far. This is looking like it's coming out fairly smooth, fairly even. This is a very, very good thing for us. And I'll bring that one... Oh, actually, I want to bring it back that way. There, and then kind of straighten it. And lower that down. Right. Actually, the end of that has come out looking alright. I did wonder if it would come out okay there. But I think I'm reasonably pleased with that. And if I go... No, I want to go forward a little bit, I think. There. Right. That's now created everything that I want to. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to do one more pass on this piece. Just to make sure that we've got that bit lined up right. Let's lower you down there and go forward again. We'll check on the map in a sec and just make sure that the ploughing... Let's see what it says about the ploughing. Because, you know, this whole issue with possibly us needing to plough it anyway so that we get that bonus back. As far as I know, though, grass yield is not affected by ploughing. It says it needs it on the map, but the actual grass yield itself shouldn't be affected. So we go growth, soil composition... Right. It's saying that it needs to be ploughed, but I don't think grass is affected by that. We know that even if the map is telling you that it needs to be limed, it's not affected by it. So I'm hoping that that is also the case with ploughing as well. Does grass actually need to be ploughed? Even though it tells you it needs to be ploughed, I suspect that it doesn't. That's my suspicion, is that it doesn't need to be ploughed. That's just the game telling you that it does when it doesn't actually need it at all. So we'll go up through here, and then we'll be able to ignore that. We will probably go back through and we will plough it eventually, especially if we're going to be doing this as arable land. We'll go back and we will approach this another time, and we'll do this properly as arable land. So if I bring this one up a little bit, right, I'm kind of thinking that I should extend this out a bit here. Alright? So bring it to about there. So we've got a slight curve on this end. Let me lower that down a minute and see where the back of it goes. That goes to there, so I can go back a little bit further. About there, I think. Perfect. And then forward into here. And bring that up round like that. Okay, so now I've got that bit is kind of being filled in. I'm not going right into the corner too sharp. And that little bit of corner will probably end up not being used. But that's fine. We can sort of do that, I think. Maybe one day we will buy that other piece of land there and we will redirect the road a little bit. Who knows? We might end up making this into a big field anyway. If I bring that over there and I'll just lower you down. Go like that. Right. I think we're doing fairly well here now. We've got... Oh. I need to lift that up. We've got the outline of the field done. We just need to start working on ploughing it. We're going to do a few more rounds around the outside, and then we'll be able to start working on the land work. But that's all we got time for today. My weekly question is, do you want me to go for arable farming next? Do we save up and do we buy a combine and everything else associated with arable farming, which is also going to include having to get storage for grains as well as getting the combine and stuff like that? Or do we wait for the arable and we go for a Ponzi Scorpion next so that we can automate a bit more of our wood collection process? It's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. And if you've enjoyed this episode, then please hit down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well, that would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar, goodbye, and see you later.